All right, we're on hole number 5 of the Sukura Hills 9-hole cup. I'm in Friday's qualifying round. This is hole number 2 of Sukura Hills. So I'm going to make a playlist with Sukura Hills and good, bad, or indifferent. And I'm in my practice account, so I am practicing some stuff, and I want to get some stuff out of my system, and I want to see what's possible on some holes and do the deal. I've never been one on this hole to try and come at it from the front and do that rough bump. That rough bump is just scarier than hell to me. I've always been one to just come up here because this is not a hole that a lot of people are going to get eagle on. And I want to at least give myself the best shot I can. And the best straightforward shot that you can get is if you're actually in this area up here. If you're in this area up here, because if you draw a line to the tip of this rough area from the flagpole, you draw that line across, you want to be as close to that line as possible, because then it's a straight in shot. So if you can get way up into this area, you can actually bring a sniper. And if you've got a really good side spin ball, and now that we have access to 4 side spin balls, I think this might be a hole that actually we may try and play seriously different. So I'm going to check in my bag and see if I have any in my main account. I'm going to put a note here: 4 side spin ball, and see what the deal is on it, because before we really couldn't make the turn, so you got to put curl. And anytime you involve the word curl in any shot, that should be on a drive, because you're working yourself around something to try and pick up distance to make your second shot better to the cup, because the shot to the cup never needs to involve the word curl, because that definitely diminishes your opportunity to get in. It's a huge variable. So I'm going to try and see what it takes to bleed up into this area. And actually, if you really wanted to get up there as high as you could, because your red line with a 3 power ball, I believe, is like in this area. If you brought out a big enough ball, you might be able to do a rough bump over here and just rough bump yourself out. And then you could get way up at the top, because from anywhere else over here, it's super hard to get over the sand, because the farther up the sand you go, the wider it gets. And so you got to put on more topspin, which bleeds you out on the other side. So you've got to bring it up from down here towards the bottom, and then try and bring it up. So normally you'll end up being kind of like halfway between where you'd really like to get and the black line. But you can pick up a little bit of distance, so you're better into your club. Because if you're out here, you could lay up here and bring a big dog, try and get down in this area, or you can try and get all the way up here and try and do the rough bump, which I am not going to demo for you. I actually want to try and give myself a straight in shot. And the other part about this is that this straight in shot could be very, like, once you figure out how to set your drive up so that you can get your drive there. I'm going to make sure that I have both of these bags set up for the shot. If you've got lower developed clubs, I play this hole in one-on-one, and I love it when I get on this hole with a Guardian, because you can bring out a lower power ball, which means that your red line for your wood is back, so you need a longer hitting wood, and it doesn't hurt to have access to backspin. And on this particular shot, if you're in your Guardian, you probably will be able to get up there with the 2.5 topspin that you have. I really like to take this shot with my rock, but I may have to take it with my extra mile. I'm going to bring a Titan. I'm going to bring the king of balls. I'm going to try and get myself as far in there. But if you have a 4 side spin ball, let's see what kind of angle I can get and see if a 4 side spin ball might be able to help you. I'm going to try and get as far up there, even if I hit back a little bit, as I can possibly get. To try and straighten that line out. I want to get as close to that line out there as I possibly can. All right, let's see what we can get with a 3 power ball. You can see where my red line is. I'm going to try and get out in that area as close to the top as I possibly can. 3-2, that's about a ring and a half. I'm going to do just a titch over, because it won't kill me if I clip the rough and roll out. Which might not be the bad way to play that if you wanted to get way up there to the top. That's that. I'm going to try and get up there as high as I can. And I left a lot on the table to the left. Could have got more aggressive and tried to make that second bounce a rough bump and just literally just bleed out in front up here. Be nice and easy. Kingmaker would be a better ball to use. Cut the wind down. You have to play that shot a couple times and you'll figure out whether or not you need, like if you're taking the shot and you're just doing a normal adjustment and you're ending up super close to the fairway and you're almost missing the rough, just add on 10%. If you're just clipping it and you're almost getting caught in it, you can adjust that so that the wind is pushing you forward a little bit more. Don't take as much wind off. Theoretically, it's uphill from right here. Well, maybe the area we're hitting to is downhill, but it's definitely uphill to the cup. My opponent's kind of like in the middle. They're more in track with where they want to be if you want to come at it from the front. So you can see how much room I have. You can also see why I like a Guardian. So from there, because a Guardian you can bring up and you can get in front. Two six. I'm going to do a max adjustment. There's 2.5. There's 2.6. I'm not going to add anything on. I want to see for myself. Hitting it perfect. And I must have had like no time left on the clock. I'm going to see if there's any backboard here. There is a little bit of a backboard, but not enough to get me back around in there. This is why a Guardian will work better, because when you can get up there, you can get in front of it. You can get in front of that sand trap and go right at the green if you got max backspin. I'm going to change that. And on my notes, I do have a Guardian. And one-on-one, because back in the day when we only had one bag, I always got on this hole with a Guardian. And this hole works really well. It's a long hitting wood. So if you bring out a lower ball, you can get up into like this area right here from where my opponent's at. I like the spot that they're in as far as angle, because they're giving themselves more, they're up here. So if the wind, depending on which way the wind's blowing, they have some options as far as how they're going to come at the cup, where they're still pulling over the rough. And they took out too much wind with whatever adjustment they did, because they damn near hit the sand. Yeah, hey, look at how steep that hill is. This is why I don't do that shot. I'm not saying that you can't get that shot in, but think about what your chances are of getting an irregular bounce. Oh, I might have missed it. That's funny. So yeah, you can get an irregular bounce on that shot super easy, and you'll end up with inconsistent results. But a bad result is really, really bad. It's not as bad as me missing that putt, but it's pretty bad. Everybody who's watched my channel for a long time knows like long putts like that. That's why I quit talking for a second. I actually stopped the focus because it was a long putt and still caught a 2-ring great to the left and missed. Guardian will get you closer so you won't have to take such a long putt. And you can actually get up there with a Guardian where you can get behind the hole and it'll suck it back to it. So you can get further away from that if you've got room on your red line. Par. That's 2 holes dropped in my practice account. That's a good thing that it's in my practice account. That's why my practice account doesn't always make the weekends round, because I'll go out there and do stupid stuff. Work it out of my system. In the practice round, we got one of these holes and we were out there. You used to be able to go out there and try and pound it through the trees with a power 5 ball and you could get to the other side. And I went out there and tried it with a power 3 ball just to see like what what kind of trajectory it gave me, and then tried it with a power 5 ball several times, and I'm sure my opponents were thinking I was batshit crazy. Gotta practice, otherwise you'll never know. My opponent goes first. Maybe they will go first. I guess they were not going to play. They were waiting for me to forfeit, hoping that I would forfeit, and it did not happen. I was trying to give bonus content, and you guys got robbed. All right, that was hole number 5 of the Sukura Hills 9-hole cup. That was hole number 2 of Sukura Hills. Thanks for watching.